2022 has started, and I hope everyone is busy with their activities. I have my first guest of 2022, Vishwesh, and yeah, pretty much it's been very interesting 2 to 3 weeks, and I hope this year we might talk to more creators and founders in MicroSaaS and SaaS business. So, without much wait, Vishwesh, thank you so much for joining, and really thanks a lot for making this
Yeah,
happen on a very
yeah.
short.
Hi, Girish.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
so
you for calling me for this.
no problem. So the reason I am talking to Vishwesh and I picked I was interested in his business is he pretty much is doing a lot of activities individually with a very tiny team, as well as he knows a lot about the kind of activities which he does related to Shopify activities. So Vishwesh, if you could share a line or two about yourself, what you have done, where are you from, and then we could carry on with the discussion. That would be great.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Vishwesh Shetty, and I've been into Shopify apps for last 3 years now. So before that, I had a development agency. I used to do freelancing, but since last 3 years, I've been focusing on building micro-SaaS apps on Shopify. And I have made around 5 applications in all, but out of which three are like two are doing good. One is quite new. So overall, that like all these apps combined, there are around 15,000 stores using these applications right now, and so then generates me a revenue of around 21K MRR per month so far, and it's growing at around 3 to 5% per month on month. Now I'm working on a new project on Shopify itself. It's basically a CRM tool for e-commerce, and it's in very early stage. I've had a couple of developers to build the product, and we are in like 20-30% into the development right now. And at the same time, I also provide support and marketing to our existing apps.
Okay, how did this journey got started, Vishwesh? I mean, like, how did you get interested, and were you a developer before, or how did it?
Yeah, so I come from a developer background. I have a Upwork page and I used to do a lot of freelancing. So the way I got introduced to Shopify was when I used to do Facebook apps initially, Facebook API integration. So there was a project on Upwork where it was a Shopify app just which needed a Facebook integration. So I helped that Shopify app the Facebook integration. And at that time, I realized that Shopify is a market where people are actually paying for apps. So something like WordPress, there are a lot of free applications and people try to get things done in free apps. And even the pay is like a one-time purchase. Most of the plugins come as a one-time purchase. But I realized Shopify Marketplace, it's a place where people are paying for a lot of applications, and it has a rich culture of app. So since the client I was working with, he had an application and it was doing really good. So I realized that the Shopify App Store has potential. So I did one custom app for one particular store, and then I packaged that custom app and put it as a public app. So that was my first application. It didn't do that well, but I got an idea that how it works and what is the way App Store or like how you create your application, submit to Shopify. And then I came across an idea. It was my first idea. It was WhatsApp chat buttons. So I created a simple app for just a one button on the store with links to WhatsApp, and it was doing pretty good. It was growing at around $100 per month, and that's how I realized that. But that still was my side project because I had a development agency to run, and since I was not focusing much on it, it went up to 2K MRR, but then it got stagnant. Then there were a lot of application, a lot of free apps coming up, a lot of similar apps coming on, and it became very competitive. And unless you are like doing full time, it was very difficult to be in that competitive market. So it got stagnant around 2K MRR. But then I realized that I missed out an opportunity over there. So then I focused more on Shopify, and so I had a co-founder with my development agency. So we split, like he took over the service part and I took over the product business. And I focused only on Shopify apps. So then the third app that I did, I like whatever I learned from the second app, like it got stagnated at one point. So I knew what mistakes I did and what should I do this time. So from those learnings, I grew my Instagram feed app, which is the one which is growing consistently since like 2 years now. So yeah, so that's how I got introduced to Shopify. And this is last 6 months, I'm also getting involved in Shopify App Store marketing. I do sessions with different other App Store developers, to help them with my App Store marketing, which is a critical part in Shopify App Store, which a lot of developers miss out because it's App Store is the only place where you get organic installs. Otherwise, you need to really fight hard outside the market or outside the App Store to get leads. But App Store is something where if you have a good SEO, you will get people searching for you and finding you and getting organic installs.
Okay, so you pretty much are on the Shopify platform like an
Yeah,
expert, and you know pretty much how to really start. So DTC and ecom have been growing at a faster pace in India from last 3 to 4 years, and there are a lot of online stores. And if you are starting as a creator or a founder in such areas, building SaaS tools like how you are doing or apps,
yeah,
what
yeah.
would you really think about? How do you really go about it? Just can you explain like in.
So, so I wrote few threads on Twitter related to this. So basically, if you want to come up with an idea for SaaS, so there are few ways. So one is you go to some DTC stores, speak to them, what are the problem they are facing, and then you get a problem like this is the issue that they are facing. Then you ask if this solution works for 10 different stores. If they say that this solution works, then you can go build one and go to the App Store. But here you also need to make sure that like say you create something like a feature which is very niche, and you go to the App Store, but people are not searching for that feature. It's a add-on thing, but people are not searching for that feature, so it gets very difficult to market. So in such cases you might struggle in the marketing, but it might be something that people know need. It's a good to have feature, but people are not searching for it, so they will not find your application. So there's one more way to go about is like you figure out what are the different segments there are in Shopify. Like people need some apps for or fulfillment, some apps for shipping, some apps for store design, and then you Google search the App Store itself, see what are the top application. And if you find any segment which has very low competition, or if the top apps are not good enough, so there is a great opportunity over there. So you search, you find say like XYZ segment where the top application itself is not very well reviewed, or you tried the application, it's not doing good. So you have an opportunity that this segment there is no market leader and there is no not many good applications, so you can come into that and then then work on that application. Here the benefit is like you already know that the people are searching for this product, so it's easier to rank up in App Store, it's easier to get installs. So that is one approach. Something that I personally use is like what I've used for my apps is basically if I see there is a new feature release anywhere, so like TikTok introduces a new feature, Instagram introduces Reels or IGTV. So any new feature that comes in social market or in Google, so I try to build an app on it because that makes me the first app, like first movers advantage on that particular category. So that is also something that you can try out. Like if there is something new coming up, if Facebook is introducing some new commerce related feature, you can put it in as an app on App Store. So people like eventually people will be searching for that feature, and you'll be the one who already has an app for it. So that is another way you can go into this market. The thing is like there are a lot of shopping there's the number of new Shopify stores, it's coming every day, so it's not like there is only set of Shopify stores and the market is already captured. So as Shopify grows, number of stores grows, the number of stores searching for new apps grows. So there's no end to this. Like the flow of new stores is always coming. So even if you come in late to the App Store, so you it may seem like disadvantage. Like if I start today, they're already market leaders, and will there be any new stores losing my application? But that's not the case because itself is growing. They're adding thousands of stores every month, every week. So those stores will be searching for app, and then you can like you have all those stores as your customers. So, and compared to the other categories, like Shopify store owners pay a lot. So they pay a lot for apps. So if you build a solution with the recurring pay, you will have like whatever you sell, you will have a recurring revenue from it.
Okay, that's that's a very good explanation actually. It like it's a primer where we could have some good knowledge. So you pretty much have been speaking about marketing, and you have stressed on it in this conversation. So do you use any specific channels, or do you really follow any playbook, or is it something you learn over a period of time and you attack and choose that channel to really like market your
So
product?
my core strength has been the Shopify App Store marketing itself. Other than that, like I know people who have done better outside as well. So there are, so I know some examples, I know some people doing that. So I can give you a sample, like if there is something, if there's a niche category, you can do a lot of good content marketing on Google, so that when people search for a solution in that category, you rank up and then you redirect them to App Store and get the customer. Say like people are searching for Google Analytics integration on Shopify, and so people do search that on Google as well. So if you can build a lot of good content around Google Analytics and Shopify, or Google Tag Manager and Shopify, so you can rank up on Google and then bring that traffic into your app store, into your app. So that is a channel, SEO channel on Google. But that is something that's not my core strength. Mine is doing app store marketing. So in app store, I know what you need to do to rank up, what do you need to do to show up on different keywords, and how do you get reviews, how do you build your ranking over a period of time. So if you are, say for instance, if your primary keyword is email marketing, and there are really big apps like Klaviyo which are already on omnichannel and omniscient in email marketing, so it will be difficult for you to market. So in that case, you use the secondary keyword like marketing automation. So basically, you need to strategize, like if the primary keyword or primary market is difficult to crack, use the secondary keyword for it, or use the tertiary keyword for it. So based on that, I know how to do a marketing on apps. So that is my favorite channel, like because I work as an individual, so I don't have to have a content writer, or so this is the simplest one that I can apply on. And then I once I have a good ranking, I get organic install, so I don't have to worry about it.
Got it. So your MRR seems to be fairly envious to any SaaS founder, 22 K. So the journey seems to be very interesting on your side, but I think you still have larger plans. So
Yeah.
how would you see the landscape in the next 1 or 2 years? What would happen? Like,
So
do you feel like DTC
so
ecom is here to stay and grow, or SaaS tools
yeah.
will be in demand?
Personally, I am also in a favor of like helping independent retailers to grow. Like I'm not a fan of Amazon way of doing it, where you have one website and you have a huge cut across all your sellers. What happens, like people are, then it's a race to bottom where people try to place their product cheap. So and then the quality degrades, and then because Amazon has a huge cut, then yeah, there's limited profit margin. So your the product quality, what I've been seeing across Amazon is it's getting bad, as in the final product that you get is the quality gets degraded like year by year. So I feel like independent retailers having their own shop is the way to go forward. So people would be finding products through Instagram, through Facebook, through Google. So initially it was only Amazon, but now people Google for the product, and then people are starting to trust independent stores as well. So when they find something, a new store on Google, they trust it that they will be delivering, because there are a lot of stores doing really good work. So going forward, I see DTC growing rapidly across. So there are few areas that I think that apps need to be there, or that needs to improve, is like building a trust factor. So something that lacks with, at least with Indian purchaser, is like trusting a independent store. So an apps that will help build more trust, more social proof. So those application will be growing better, and like there will be need for such application which will help you convert better through building trust and social proof. And other than that, like there are a lot of ideas still there in the marketplace. Like there might be one or two apps in that, but you can come, and in general, I've seen like even if a particular app market is crowded, say email marketing or SMS marketing, even if there are like 10 players, all 10 players have money in it. So like it's not that only the top two or top three are making money. Even if there are 10, if you search and you get 10 apps in SMS marketing, all 10 apps will have good number of reviews. So basically, the install gets distributed across this app. So every category has a potential. Like upsell, there are around 20 to 50 apps are on upsell, but all apps have some strength, some weakness. So even if the market is crowded, there is still potential that you will get installs from Shopee stores, and then you can make money in it. And
So
it takes time. So it's like my 22K MRR comes after. spending like being in 200K MRR for 1 year or 1.5 year. And then I went into trending section once, and that helped me rank up higher. And then I did a lot of efforts. So it grows eventually, but yeah, so but it's there. There are still a lot of, I think there are even new apps that have come after me are making more money. So there are a lot of potential still there in the app store.
So the in a nutshell, I mean, like this is a business which is ripe and it will definitely grow and keep growing, and
Yeah, yeah,
definitely innovation
yeah,
is possible. And Indian market is
yeah,
also an interesting market in the couple of years.
yeah, yeah. So in India, already a lot of people are doing a good job on Instagram. They sell directly from Instagram. So if you help them, those people get on website or make it easier for them to sell. So all these opportunities there are, which will like there are a lot of opportunity to make money in this area.
Got it. Yeah, what tools do you use on a day-to-day basis to make your life more easy in business, and as well as how do you maintain clutter-free activities? Because as a individual, you have a very tiny team and you have a lot of responsibilities. How do you manage
Yeah.
all this?
So initially, actually, I used to be just solo. Like I didn't have anyone with me as developers or support or anything. So at that time, I used to use Drift as my customer support, and like that was the basically the main tool that I used for customer support, and I used to deal day on day basis because I did not go where like building lot of features, which is so there are two ways to do it. You either keep it simple or you keep it feature rich. So my way is to do build it simple because as a solo entrepreneur, it's easier to handle, easier to manage, and it's easier for small, like my target on is small and medium stores, and for them simplicity is more important than having a lot of feature. So if I'm going to build a app for Shopify Plus or bigger stores, then I'll be focusing on a feature-rich product. So since I'm focusing on simple app, so my development is all also limited, and most of the work is related to custom support, which I handle to Drift. And then when I'm working on a new product, there I have my team set up in Slack for communication, Notion for product management. So in between, I actually spent 1 year as a CTO to a Brazilian startup called Cartex. It's called Cart Panda now. It's basically a Shopify set of. Are you able to hear me?
I lost you. Okay, continue, please.
Yeah. So basically, I worked as a CTO on a startup, and there we used to use a set of products, the tools that I continue as an individual now. So I have Notion for task management or creating tasks and managing stuff, and Slack for a communication channel. Other than that, yeah, like I've used App Store Analytics for understanding App Store rankings on Shopify, and Sassy is a good tool. Like keep an eye on your ranking, overall ranking on App Store. Yeah.
Good. So what is your like 2022 plan or any 3 months ahead? What are you planning? Because you are building a new
Yeah.
tool, new product. Who
Yeah.
are
So
your
I'm working on an e-commerce CRM. So my now I'm going towards. So there are two places that I found that Shopify is lacking or it's not strong enough. Is first is the login setup. Like if you have a Shopify store, the login setup is very basic, and most people do not most stores do not support customer account, and even if it does, it's simple email password, and it's not user friendly. So I want to make like build an app that helps you convert visitor into customer accounts even if they do not purchase. So even if they do not buy anything, still you are trying to convert them into and customer having a customer account in your store. So for that, I'm working on a login module which basically supports email, password, mobile OTP, Google sign up, Facebook sign up, all that. So that is basically to make it easier for people to sign up on a store. And the second module I'm working on is personalization. So if you see Amazon, if you go there, you'll see your recently bought product, product similar to recently bought, something you have brought but you have not reviewed. So your homepage is different for every user. Your homepage will be tailor-made for based on your purchasing behavior, which is something that Shopify is lacking. So you can show there are apps which shows product recommendation on the product page, but but the content is not that generated dynamically. Your homepage is always static. So I'm working on a personalization module where every section will be personalized based on who the person is, like based on login or based on your cookies, that who the person is, like what have he recently viewed, what the product similar to his, what he recently viewed, and so that. So these are two modules I'm working on. I want to build both as a separate and then connect it together in backend. So, and then I want to go to other apps as well, but these are the core apps that I'm working on. So hopefully I'll be launching these apps by next 2 or 3 months and growing, like working on them rigorously.
Okay, I forgot to ask this question. Where is your customer base? Is it India, US, or
It's global because on App Store everyone finds you, and it's similar to what Shopify is. You say like country database, like the way Shopify is spread, which is predominantly US and then some European countries, India, So even my install rates come is similar. So like mostly it's US because number of stores in US itself is large, and then the other countries. Because it's currently my app is basically Instagram integration, so which is common for everyone.
yeah, that's really great to hear. And thanks for really
Yeah.
taking time and explaining it so uh, meticulously with patience so that we could
Yeah.
also understand. So, how can people find you? I have found you on Twitter. So, are there places where they can reach out to you? Do you write a blog?
So
Share because
currently
I
I'm
have seen you doing consultancy. I mean, like
yeah
consulting or talking to people on Shopify related activities also. So, how
yeah.
can people reach out to you?
So basically I used to do after session, but I've like stopped it right now because I want to focus on something more. Right after I'll be traveling 1 week and then I'll be focusing on something else. I want to talk to more DTC stores, so that's why I'm paused taking up after session calls. But I'm mostly available only on Twitter. So uh, Twitter Vishet VISHSHET. You can find me, and I have a newsletter over there which you can subscribe. So I do a newsletter on App Store marketing, Shopify apps, growing your Shopify apps, etc. And so that's the only thing I write. I'm trying to get into blogging, but it would take time for me. But predominantly, most of my content, yeah, like I post it on Twitter.
Got it. Thank you so much, Vishwesh. So
Yeah, thank you,
there it
Girish.
is. Like you have Vishwesh. I definitely will mention his Twitter ID, and I'm definitely going to learn from this person a lot. I will be traveling also. I mean, anything DTC, ecom, Shopify, please reach out to this person and also check out his product, which is rolling out in 2 to 3 months. Do talk to him. Do connect with him. Until next time, I find an interesting person. I'm signing off. Thanks, Vishwesh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Girish. Bye.